It should still upload it. I'm not dealing with that. All right. Yo, yo, yo. How's it going, folks? Today's episode is called GA4 Gratitude. And so always remember that the camera's right there.
Okay.
And so if you wanted to look into the camera, you can. Otherwise, you can look at me.
All right.
This is my lovely wife, Annabelle.
Hey.
She's awesome. And today we're having coffee. Cheers.
Cheers.
And we're talking about marriage, and also, so that's the gratitude part. And then I'll talk about GA4 a little bit. But
coffee and devotions.
Let me see that book. We've been going through this. Big shout out to Juan and Christy. What's her last name?
Ramirez.
Juan Ramirez and Christy Ramirez. This right here, couples devotional. I hope it doesn't screw up my autofocus thing. But this has been a really good start to our days. And so, Annie, if you will do the honors, let's walk through a little bit, if that's cool.
Sure. Yeah. Normally we'll read a chapter.
Yep.
And a chapter is a quick little story, 3 pages. And then at the end, there's a discussion that's 3 to 5 questions. So as written, you go through 1 devotion per week. But what we've decided to do is read 1 devotion and then study it every day, every weekday for that week.
Yep.
So we'll be repeating the same discussion questions every morning, and it just brings up a new conversation and allows us to get more thoughts out over time versus in one sitting.
Yeah, I'm a huge repetition person. I think that repetition is the key to just winning at life in general. And with that said, what I like to do is, think about the same question a couple of different ways and see if we get the same answer. Back in the day, and it really started with this book called Goals by, who's that by? Basically, you write 20 goals every day. And Brian Tracy, old school, self-help type thing. And this was back in 2011, 2012 when it was introduced to me, and I took it and ran with it. And that's where the 10 blessings and lessons, or
10 goals, 10 blessings.
10 goals, 10 blessings, but that's where that came from. So Annie took that and ran with it. And now we're doing marriage stuff.
Yeah.
So it works. It works, and I believe in repetition. So let's jump into it real quick.
Sure. So this week's devotion is all about picking your battles.
Mm-hmm. The chapter's called "Don't Fight Over the Butter."
Yeah. Don't fight over the butter.
Fight over stupid stuff all the
time. Okay. Do you have your own fight over the butter story? Share a time when you fought over something you realized wasn't worth it.
Well, it's probably stuff related to just nitpicky chores and stuff around the house. We've had fights about that mostly, I think.
Yeah.
The dumb fights we've had have been around.
Right. Right. They're dumb, forgettable, and recurring. So we've kind of learned to
not take it
personally. But the chore stuff, any of those small little things are really rooted in gender roles, right? Which then goes into the expectation of where we want it. I think just calling out what it is. And understanding that that's underlying current is valuable.
What are you saying about gender roles? What do you mean?
Well, so like usually we repeat the same fights, right?
Mhm.
Which is like, oh, the laundry's not done. Oh, the blah, blah, blah's not done, right? And there's the wait for your wife to do it or just help do it, right?
It's also wait for
Mhm.
your husband to do it or just help do it.
Right.
It's not just me.
No,
I
but
see how you frame that.
well, out of gender roles, right? And so I think that's where a lot of our expectations come from, or
Yeah, of course.
butting heads
Especially
come from.
if you're usually the one who does it, then I would expect you to continue that. But we've had this talk, and this is more a personality trait than anything. I am super consistent, and you're less consistent than me.
Mhm.
So instead of me letting expectations ruin my mood or get me mad about dishes or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like I can choose not to let it get to me and instead say, all right, I can either tell Annabelle about this right now, I can do it and then tell her, or we can fight. And sometimes we do need to fight, I think. I think it's
Yeah.
important to confront one another
Yeah.
in a certain way, right?
And to do it when it's still small, even if it's dumb. So it's not like,
Yeah.
It's that fine balance of picking your battles, but also doing some preventative hard conversations so it's not a big fight later on.
Yeah. We had these talks about just how I was raised was we didn't have heavy conflict in the household. It just wasn't really a thing. It was more like you might get teased or made fun of if you're messing up. And if you're messing up too much, nobody wants to be the butt of a joke. So it was a smart way for my, I'd say it was my dad more. It was a smart way for my dad to kind of point out where we're shortcomings or not very reliable and to kind of get that out of us to where it's like, bro,
Yeah.
just gonna let it sit there or what's going on, type
Yeah.
of thing. And it's important. It's important to make sure that I think it's important to make sure that there is a feeling attached to a source of pride attached to um, the things that you have to do around your household.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Absolutely.
right? If you don't nobody wants to do the laundry, nobody wants to do dishes, nobody wants to clean up. Um, I'm sure there's people out there who do, but those people don't really want to, but you also would rather do it than feel like you're a lazy person or a bummy or whatever, And then it's like, yeah, no, I don't identify with that. Let me clean up this situation.
You're like, I want to live in a clean house, so I'm going to clean the house because I'm the kind of person that cares about living in a clean house. Yeah. Okay. Read 1 Corinthians 9:24-27. Paul is talking about staying focused and not wasting his energy on things that aren't relevant to the race he's running. How do you think this relates to choosing our battles wisely in marriage? Okay. We got to bring up 1 Corinthians.
Okay. I don't know how to change this little logo thing.
Here we go. 1 Corinthians 9:24-27. The need for self-discipline.
Okay.
Do you not know that in a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize.
Okay, that makes sense. A little self-reflection, make sure that you're on point, make sure that you're doing the right thing before you complain to other people. That's what I picked up.
I think it's don't worry about preaching to other people, worry about yourself so that you're not disqualified for what you want to do.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you mean by preaching?
I strike a blow to my body.
Yep, I get that part.
Yep.
I get that
So
part.
self-inflicted, self-discipline. I strike a blow to my body. Make it my slave, right? Mind over matter, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. Another way to think about that is like knowing is not the same thing as doing. I struggle with that. Right? So you can know and you can preach to others how it works, but if you're not doing it yourself, you're disqualified for the prize.
Yeah. What was the beginning of that scripture?
Do you not know that in a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave.
I would say self-discipline, discipline over the need to just go through the motions. I think what he's pointing out as well is that everybody thinks that they are doing training hard, trying hard, doing their part, but not everybody's going to win. And so that means, for me, that adds a layer of, hey, make sure that you're going as hard as you possibly can, because you're not really, the competition, and this happens a lot with people, I think, the competition is not between doing it or not doing it. The competition is between doing it really, really well or doing it not good enough. So those are very different games. Does that make sense? One's like, for instance, we can talk about, I don't want to sound like I'm attacking because that doesn't sound right. Let's go this direction. We'll
Coffee break.
for the example. Coffee. I can make coffee or not make coffee. If I don't make coffee, there is no coffee, which is, there's nothing. Or if I make coffee, there is coffee. So that's black and white. However, let's go deeper into it. And then there's coffee that I made versus coffee that's made by a championship sommelier of coffee type person, whatever. So their coffee is going to be better than my coffee. That's what we're dealing with in this situation. The best coffee, not the having or not having. See what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times people run into this situation of something's better than nothing, or just be grateful with what you have. Just be happy that you have something, you know, and that's not the right way to look at your marriage, and it's not a right way to look at your life in general. Right. Like having a business, BHT, or not having a business. Okay, yeah, I get that. But then BHT being what it is right now versus being a huge software company, right? There is a difference. There is a huge difference. And you have to be able to be willing to say, all right, I'm going to be the winner, or I'm going to be the loser. It's competitive. Life is competitive. You can't, it's impossible to get away from that part. Right. Nowadays, I'm grateful to know the difference between being a true competitor and not being a competitor. in the game versus being in the game or not being in the game. When I was first trying to get in, it's like, I don't even have a business. I'm trying to just have a business and feel legit. Now it's like, all right, I'm legit. I can go, let's figure out this streaming thing. Let's figure out marketing. Let's figure out all these things that are surrounding it. And you've seen the journey with content. It's been insane.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But so now we're married, and it's time to take our marriage from a place of married versus unmarried to married and thriving, like our highest version of being married is what I take from that.
Yeah, and not only that, but it takes maintenance, right? So
for sure,
the self-discipline.
I mean, they're talking about training. They're talking about doing the most in order to get the most out of it.
Right. So it's like a lifestyle to maintain at the top. Maintain a healthy marriage.
That even further, us reading this book opens up the possibility of going to marriage gym.
Yeah.
Or, really taking it seriously and going harder. So this is kind of like a gateway to counseling with a third party or marriage retreats or getting other groups involved, all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going anyways, but it's cool we didn't pick up that from this verse this whole week.
No, yeah, this is a brand new discussion.
Yeah.
And it's only our third time having it.
Yep. Yeah. That's why you have it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
Right. Yeah, you get deeper into it. No, it's so important to have that spiritual gym, and it's not just going in on Sundays to receive the message. Like, you got to really get in there to apply, and I think keep your own faith supply up.
Yeah, it's true. I don't read my Bible every day. I don't.
No, I mean, I don't either, but we've started the practice of devotions every day.
Yeah, for our marriage, but personally for devoting yourself and figuring out where you land, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
Pretend like the camera's not here.
It's not here. Hasn't been here.
Okay.
All right, so third question. You want anything more on that?
No, I feel like that was really powerful.
Okay. Pray. Would you like to pray today?
Sure. What are we praying about?
Ask God to give you a spirit of unity so that you can more easily overlook the little irritations that might come up. Thank God for your marriage and for each other, and commit to developing an atmosphere of grace in your home.
Okay. God, please give us grace, direction, peace, and the ability for stamina in our marriage as we grow and evolve as people, as we deal with each other's, back and forth and little battles, that we don't take it too seriously, that we brush it off and realize that we're teammates above anything else. And Lord, please and continue to keep us and allow us to grow in faith. Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Good job. Good job, Caroline.
Good job, husband.
Thanks.
Ta-da.
Okay. Now, I think I'm going to start talking about work stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transition away.
Transition. You know who Anthony Fantano is?
No.
Okay. He's a music reviewer. Can I have some more coffee, please? He says that. He goes, transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it?
Oh, is he the white dude with glasses?
The bald dude.
Yeah. Hip hop? Mostly?
I mean, he does all kinds of music.
I see.
Okay. Let me see your microphone, unless you wanted to talk some more.
Oh, no, I'm done.
Okay. Cheeky, checky, checky. Try to put this other music on. See if it don't flag me. Let's see if this works. I'm getting into it, baby. Getting into it. All right. Quick commercial. I got some commercials for y'all today. It in one spot and control when they fire, how often they fire, why they fire. You set up the dominoes to fall over in a certain order. On top, so GTM is like literally it's a container is what they call it whenever you build out on it. But it is just a place for you to put all of your marketing software snippets in one spot and control when they fire, how often they fire, why they fire. You set up the dominoes to fall over in a certain order. On top of that, they're building out like consent capabilities inside of GTM. And so what that's going to mean in the future is if Paulo lands on the site and says, hey, I don't want any cookies around analytics to track me while I'm here. Cool. Max lands on the site and you say, I'm cool with tracking cookies. I don't really care. Your experience on the site is going to be a little different as far as what I can collect is going to be different as well. And with that information, I have permission to fire certain marketing tags or not fire them depending on those preferences. And also depending on state law, which is even more important. Yay. Ouch, yeah. Let's see what this one is. With server-side tagging. Setting up Google Analytics 4 on Shopify has always been pretty tricky. Nowadays, people are relying heavily on the data layer inside of Shopify. There was a supplement company that we were able to... Any of my viewers using Shopify, hit me in the comments, let me know. To help with server-side. I've got something for you. Tagging, and in doing so, we use the data layer in order to pull information, not only for the purchase event, but the abandoned cart event. Also, there's a survey that people had to fill out. It was a medical situation, so they had to fill out a survey before they made a purchase. We're able to take all that information. Obviously, there's compliance issues, and you want to make sure that you're respecting privacy laws, but you can push all that information into the data layer and then layer it on top of your purchase event as it comes closer and closer to that ultimate end goal. What does that mean, Jordan? Ultimately, you can figure out what product they're viewing, what variant of that product, if they're buying it on sale, if they're using a coupon, everything related to that purchase, so that you can turn around and say, okay, I have a ton of audience that is using a coupon, or I have a ton of audience that is buying a certain variant of a product. It allows you as a business to focus on what actually matters. All right, I'll take that. I like that. Your site, go to your page, go to whatever article, asset, or whatever you got ranked and get what they want. Meaning full engagement if it's a YouTube video, meaning downloadable if that's the case, or form fill, or whatever it might be. Or maybe even time on page for, situations where there's a lot of text. I think this is one where I'm talking about SEO. More about usefulness of that site. Are people able to go to your site, go to your page, go to whatever article, asset, or whatever you got ranked and get what they want? Meaning full engagement if it's a YouTube video, meaning downloadable if that's the case, or form fill, or whatever it might be. Or maybe even time on page for, situations where there's a lot of text. But anyways,
it's a game changer understanding who the high quality people are, so you can reach out to that audience and optimize that.
Yes, sir. You got to know who the high quality people are. Lab tests. So I recently set up tracking on a small company that does like blood work and things of that nature. So they have a component that only is for form fills and call tracking, obviously. So they're trying to get leads essentially. And then they have a component where people want to buy lab tests, and that's an e-commerce component. The cool thing about GA4 is you got one system that allows you to track both of those things in one place. And on top of that, you can really understand what's happening with the user, who that user is, whether they're logging into your system or not, and how to treat them. Are they a returning customer? What's the lifetime value for that customer look like? Have they bought this item before? Are they just in the market for the item? And that really informs your retargeting. Yeah. All right, let's jump into GA4 a little bit. Let me find a good example. I'm gonna show off this new client. We'll just walk into theirs. I need to like create. Y'all can watch me kind of clean up shit too. Yeah, let's just, I think I'm gonna rock it this way, folks. Yep. Something like this. Okay, cool. So this is Genesis Back. Go check them out. They've got an Austin location. They look like this. They got North Austin. They also have, let me see what their locations are. They got a couple over here. North Austin, West Austin. I don't know how far Beaumont is. I forget. San Angelo's fairly close. Waco. Whatever. You see it here. GenesisBack.com. And they do stuff with herniated disc. I don't really understand how all this works, but you guys go to the website if you're interested. This is a new client, so I'm trying to help them out. Anyways, there's that. We'll go ahead and create a group. Hit them in here. I think I've got some Search Console stuff going on. Let me go look at that. And you guys are going to watch me kind of work through this a little bit. I just really want to focus on GA4 though. So let me show you this. I thought this was interesting. I'm always looking for something that's interesting with the setup. In their case, they don't have a whole lot set up with events. They've got the standard purchase conversion. Well, no, they don't. They have some phone stuff. They actually have a ton of phone stuff. Okay, I'll take it. Anyways, they're tracking all their phone calls from the different locations in one area, which is fine. They've only got one data stream, which is also good. Audience-wise, they don't have any audiences built. They should build audiences based on these different phone calls. So think about a situation like this. Let me just I want to use the events that they have. I don't know if they're gonna give them to me like that. I could probably do it based on telephone number. or I could create custom dimensions based on location. That's probably what I'll end up doing. See, this is, hopefully you guys watch these and you realize why I love this so much. The deeper and deeper I get into it, I guess you can't build them based on conversions. Let's go conversion event. So I can do it based on a conversion event that contains XYZ. So let's do this. Now y'all see I got all these dang tabs. It's pretty excessive, but I need that in there. I need this in there. So if I just jump over to conversions, I can see all the different locations. So the thing about audiences is I don't know if I can use like a regex situation or a variable for the location name. I'll have to figure that out in a bit. But essentially, I'm gonna have a phone call for each location, and that will essentially, actually, I'm working on this one right now. So hold on, I know I'm all over the place right now. If I go here and I say, all right, this is where I want, it's a conversion event and it contains McKinney. This is what I'm trying to do, right? And I also, I don't know if I like that, but man, it feels like I might be off. Contains, let's go like this. Let's see if this pulls. It's not pulling anything either. It says 0 here, which I think is potentially faulty. Let's go or. And then I'll go that same conversion situation. It's a conversion event that contains McKinney, 3 ends, 1 in, like this. Set it to a maximum. I've got this going on, and then I've got an audience trigger. Do it like that. Boom. So every single time someone makes a phone call to the McKinney location specifically, they're going to be re-entered into this group, is what this checkbox does. So there's that. And then I can say McKinney call audience. That's I don't have to call it the audience, but yeah, it's an audience. So here's this. It's there. It's available now. What I thought was interesting about this particular client is they've got all their locations in one spot, which is really cool and interesting because they're all connected in this one place. So the data is going to feed back to the same place. However, my job is to make sure that I can aggregate Tag Manager, Google Ads, and still keep it separate inside of GA4. And that kind of looks like this. I've got that going on. Okay. I'm just going to save this tag real quick. This is from something I was dealing with last night. So there's that. And then he's got all this going on with Google. They don't have GA4 set up. So this is the old Universal Analytics and then Google Ads. And so we got to go rebuild essentially all of this. I want form fills, or the client wants form fills. So if I go to free VIP consultation, they want to capture this form fill. I can have them capture whether or not this video plays. That's pretty easy. And that looks like this. If you've been on my other videos, you'll know that I've talked extensively about this guy. And then we can go progress. I can go 10%, go 25, 50, 75, 90. And that's plenty, right? And then I'll deal with that later if I need to. Just turn it on for now. YouTube video trigger. Okay, trigger's ready. That's the beauty of all this, man. It doesn't have to be difficult. And still saving. I'm gonna let that save while it's doing all that. I'm gonna look back at this page. So I've got 2 YouTube videos. I've got a form fill. I've got this button click if I wanted to, but it doesn't really do anything but scroll down the page. I got a hamburger menu. So if someone clicks on one of these, I can capture it as a page view. That's auto event, so that's happening anyways. None of these are clickable. I'm wondering what happens here. This is gonna go to Google Maps. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, I'll see what I can pull off as far as the interaction off site going into Google Maps. You guys know that I'm a huge proponent for Google Business profiles. So this is a phone call from here. I think he's got separate phone numbers set up, obviously for the different locations, but also for and being tracked inside of Google Ads. I know for a fact inside of Google Ads. It's got a couple of decent amount of reviews, decent amount of content here. Let's see. Let's see what all he's got. Those are stock. And some of these are real. So this is cool. Not bad. We can get more. I'll see if he's interested in that. I think he'll have it covered though. Something tells me that he'll probably have it covered up. Who we are. Just kind of looking around the site. See if this goes to the same joint. Okay, we've got a broken link here. Let me make a note. I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see. I don't want y'all to see my click up. Let me make sure. It's tricky because I don't know what part of my screen y'all have access to. I think just the Chrome extension or Chrome browser. All right, cool. So let me make a note to my team real quick. Do it real quick, 1 sec. Here. See if I can take a screenshot. Then I can drop that here. All right, cool. Okay. 4/4s, baby. All right, let's see. This thing loading. Loading hella slow. Big shout out to Conductor. Man, I was on here yesterday watching his videos. I don't know if anybody's a fan like that, but I was taking a look at him earlier. That's something Annie's working on. I got this funnel. I got syllabi I need to deal with. We need to talk through the container project a little bit. This. Okay, I want to keep all those.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, we got a who we are, and then we got this other situation. Let's just go here. Who we are. And this is the one that's got the broken link. There's only one place to interact. Got some crazy. This is all Divi. I think it's Divi. All right, so that same button shows up on all these joints. And then you can pick where you're at. And then they got a different, same patient story. They got a different gosh, the scroll on this is wild. I bet they got different ones based on the location. Waiting for Google. I wonder why the site is so freaking slow, dude. Insanity. Got another YouTube video so I can track when people watch that particular one. You got to read the research, and that goes to an entirely different website. I'm good on that. There's only got a couple articles here. Okay. Hey, whatever. We got the corporate team. All right, cool. Pretty straightforward. Only got a couple of things that I really need to do on this site, and I'm noticing what they are. Simple setup. We'll knock this out with the team soon. Big shout out to the twins. Let's take some looks at what they got going on here. What pages? That location does well. The McKinney location does really well, looks like. Cool. All right. I've already got that figured. This part. Events, the amount of conversions, new users. Cool. So yeah, basically I'm going to use GA4 to pry into a lot of audience building and some layups for Google Ads for them to retarget. Also going to clean up some of these event names. And I wonder if they've done anything interesting here. Okay, that's how they built all the phone call events. Got it. Then I might be able to modify that with variables. Just so you guys know, you can modify this stuff with, and I could say contains, right? And I think that other one said phone underscore call. So I could go like this. So as long as it contains that, I can switch it to. So notice what it says here, source parameter name. So I can say, based on location, let's go here. Might play with it and see if it works. But imagine a situation where you do this. And put it consists only of letters. Interesting. Okay. So they don't like that. Oh, they're not going to let me do that. Okay. I can do it like this. This is a parameter, so I can just go location here. And then let's go, what was this? Visual location. It could be like this. This is the power of GA4. So now, I call it universal call event. So it could be something like this. You know what I'm saying? This is the beauty of the game is if I need to, I can simplify everything as long as it gets over the GA4. My philosophy is simplify inside of GTM, and then you can iterate inside of GA4. The reason I want to simplify in GTM is because less code is better, less error points is better, less opportunities for error is better. If you've only got one event that you're firing, and then we're manipulating it from there, great. Let me show you instead of tell you. And then we're done, I promise. Classic Jordan. Like this, and then we go, this parameter will equal what's in the GA4 config. So instead of typing it in, let me show you better form here. Should be like this. Then I've got a daylight variable for, I'll just create it. It'll look like this. Oops. So now, as long as I get it into the day layer, we're good. So this is how that would look. And this should trigger off of a custom event called, I don't know, what we got. We got a whole bunch of click element going on here for specific phone calls. So this is where it gets fun. My job is to figure out which of these is the best trigger for this situation. But I also want something that's going to be catch-all. So my job is to figure out how to capture a all elements trigger specific to a click URL that has a TEL in front of it without a phone number. That part I'm not going to show you. I'm going to figure that out on my own. Stay tuned. Cliffhanger for more. And it's a GA4 event. and I don't need a trigger yet. So that's how it looks, guys. That's the game. That's it in a nutshell. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Life is fun. Life is good. All right, thanks for listening. GA4 and Gratitude, a little bit of both, a little bit of both. Y'all have a awesome, wonderful, super day. Here's a commercial.
Places that people interact from your site, where they come from. Are they coming from YouTube? If I'm a software company in Austin and you work with blue highlighted text, not only do you understand how people are interacting with your site, but you're also understanding what are the best places that people interact from your site, where they come from. Are they coming from YouTube? Are they coming from Facebook, TikTok, whatever? But then I can try to dig into old data to know what's the norm for the industry. What's the norm for us, obviously, is the first place. But the second stop would be, what's the norm for the industry? What are we seeing and what can we assume should be happening across the board for others? So now we get into Jordan, the freelancer, to BHT as a business. And now it's BHT as a business that helps other businesses understand where they fit in the industry. That's into M&A, private equity, some really big things where you have to value a company and understand how that company's worth based on its ability to create those same conversions that I was tracking at the very beginning. I'm excited for that.
Google Analytics consulting to help a business? I wouldn't even know the answer to that question until last year. Last year, I was able to string together a couple of projects, and what you'll notice is if your company's large enough, you will start to ask bigger and better questions as you start to unlock your conversion tracking. The main thing that I learned was that each system was kind of living in its own silo. My job really became connecting everything and creating uniformity. In doing so, you naturally will find some inefficiencies, some breakages, some better ways to implement certain pieces of technology and marketing software. You'll see overlap in marketing software, so then you get to narrow down the list and cut down. I did a huge audit for that same client and ended up cleaning up their Google Tag Manager and, in turn, their GA4 implementation. So ultimately, the idea is to make the most efficient system that is easy for the rest of the team to understand and use. And then from there, you stack on features, benefits, ideas, and eventually come up with a strategy that just captures everything and can identify what is most important for that client.
Understanding audience triggers in Google Analytics. 4. Audience triggers in GA4. Fire an event when users become members of a custom audience with specific conditions. These triggers can be used to create complex events and conversions in GA4, such as when users reach a certain milestone or have a certain lifetime value. Up to 20 audience trigger events can be created per property. To create an audience trigger event, first create a custom audience, then navigate to the audience list and select the audience you want to edit, delete. Click on Edit and to the right of the condition builder, under Audience Trigger, click plus Create New to create a new event. You can edit, delete audience triggers by following similar steps and clicking on the pencil or trash can icon. Audience triggers can also be used to fire events for threshold parameters or as proxies for more complex conversions. Using GA4 audience triggers, you can configure advanced conversion logic based on the conditions of audiences.